Hi everyone. So today I decided to share with you how I became a millionaire even though I live with sickle cell disease. Okay, so many people who have read my books and probably watched a whole lot of my videos know that I spent the first decade of my life in a village that looked like this. What most people don't know, however, is I was also born with sickle cell disease. And what that means, if you have no idea, is that as a child, I would fall sick every month. Sometimes in rainy season, I have to fall sick like 2 times every month. And each of the episode of the crisis will last like maybe 5, 6, depending on how terrible, maybe 5, 6 days. And I will cry all night, all day. My parents could not afford to take me to hospital. My father might not even pay attention to me for all the period. So I will be there just crying. You know, this pain that I don't even have a word to explain to you right now. So the question you might want to ask is, how was I able to raise my life from such low level? So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 things that I think really helped me, and probably they can help you if you have any challenge that is as critical as myself, or maybe you just want to achieve success with your life. So the very first thing that helped me is focus. You see, as a teenager, I needed nobody to tell me that I won't be able to do so many things with my life. That was very clear because of my health challenges. Like, just imagine a 15-year-old guy who will only sit down like this and look at his mate playing soccer, beating themselves, running, and doing all those hard things that boys ought to do. I could not join them to do what they were doing because if I tried it, I would end up on the sick bed. I wasn't this guy that is capable of doing 17 things at a time, or work 15 hours in a day, or do hard labor. Don't even talk about hard labor, because if I get involved with any hard labor, I will crash. So it appeared to me that, okay, I have to live the rest of my life focusing on very few things. Now, you might want to see this as a disadvantage. Focusing on few things, this means you are limited, not having the capacity to do a lot of things like everybody has. Where I too thought that ought to be a disadvantage. Until later in life, when I look around and discover that people who do too many things achieve nothing. Maybe I should repeat that so that you get it sink into your head. Growing up, I have a health challenge because I was born with sickle cell disease. So I could only focus on few things at a time. And that became my habit. And I thought that should be a disadvantage. But many years after I have become an adult, I look back and see all of my mates who have all this physical strength to do 10 things, 7 things, 15 things. And I compare my results with that of theirs. And I discover something very funny. And that is, this guy do not achieve nothing. So it occurred to me that, okay, so it is actually a strength not to have the capacity to do many things. So Steve, I should go and become an handicap or a victim of sickle cell like you so that I can do few things, right? So Thomas, you can go ahead, amputate your leg, your hand, become an handicap, if that is what you understand by what I'm talking about here. So don't mind this boy, Thomas. The message I'm preaching in this part of the video is very simple. You cannot achieve meaningful success in life except you are able to get yourself to focus on one thing at a time. I did not get to understand this because I am intelligent. I got to understand this because my health challenges forced me to be extremely focused. Just imagine, at 21, every 21 years old I know was strong enough to say, Let's do 4 things. Let's do 7 things. Let's go for 13 things. We are young. But in my own case, I know the only thing I could do was one thing. So I will wake up every day to do that one thing. Another day, it is still that one thing. Another day, it is still that one thing. I might not be able to work 17 hours in a day. It might be 3 hours, 5 hours. It might be 7 hours. But all those hours will be concentrated on one single thing. One single thing. And I can focus on that one single thing for entire 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Then at the end of the day, I will look back at my mates who have the physical capacity to do 7 things. And I will ask myself, this single thing I'm doing, I have become successful at doing it. This single business I started is now giving me a whole lot of money. Let me look at my mates who were doing 3 businesses. And I've discovered they have not even been able to make one of those 5 businesses successful. Then I learned the lesson I'm teaching you now. Even if you have the power, you have the energy, you can work 24 hours, you can do anything you want because you are young. You have to be focused on 1 or 2 things, not even 2 things. You have to be focused on one thing. Andrew Carnegie said, put all your eggs in one basket, then watch that basket closely. You have to be focused on one thing at a time. Because if you scatter, if you want to behave like everybody else, you are doing 3 businesses at a time, you are doing blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, you will not achieve nothing from all those businesses. I hope this makes sense to you. So if it does, let's move to the second point. So the second thing I think helped me to become successful despite my health challenges is I read a lot. I am a curious learner. And this again came to me probably by accident. So let me tell you a story. As a young boy of 13, 14, 15, I've realized that I couldn't do difficult things the way boys like me would do them. Like boys like me will fight each other, we run after each other, we play soccer, we do things that, boys ought to do. But anytime I join them, I will have to fall sick. So I have learned my lesson. You can't join boys like you to do what they are doing. So, okay, if I cannot join boys like me to run around, go watch soccer, play, or even fight, what again can I do with my life? Then I discover, okay, books become the next thing that I can easily do and still have some fun doing because, guy, it doesn't take you anything to read books. You don't have to have power. You don't have to be strong. So I would take book and sit down for hours and read because, again, that was the only thing I could do. So because I read a lot, I tend to read stories of people who have gone through difficult situations. As in situations that my own doesn't even seem like a serious thing when I compare with, theirs. And the more of those stories I read, the higher my self-esteem. I just started believing more and more in myself. I just started believing, okay, if this guy could go through poverty and become so wealthy, I can do it. If this guy could be an handicap and still he was able to manage himself to achieve success, I can do it. Reading all these stories make me to believe in myself so much that I started, having these big dreams, started thinking so big that even people around me who tend to have physical strength and all the things I lack, like looking at me like, are you crazy? So eventually, I was able to build up here what I lack down here. So, and I think it is one thing most people don't get right. That you lack something doesn't necessarily mean you lack everything. The only problem you have is if your entire focus is on those things you lack. If you can shift your mind away from the things you do not have and focus on things you can grow, at the end of the day, you are going to have the capacity to grow what you have so much that you can leverage on that to end up having what you don't have. So, Steve, let me understand what you are talking about here. At first, you told us that you were born with sickle cell disease, meaning you were born weak as an handicap. Okay, now you are telling us that we can use what we have to get what we need. So I need you to explain, how exactly can you ever get physical strength you lack? Because you are going to die with sickle cell disease after all. Thomas, you said I'm weak, you said I'm lying, you said I'm an handicap, but I hire you to do the hard labor for me. And that is the game. Because I work so hard to build my mind, and I have built my mind to become so powerful that I'm able to use my mind the way 99.9% of people in the world might not be able to. It means I have resources now to hire people who have the bone, who have the muscle. Now, you get this even though Thomas doesn't. If you work hard to focus on things you have, you are going to eventually build that thing so much up and big and mighty that what you do not have will not be a matter to you, because you will have resources to hire people like Thomas to do for you what you cannot do. So the third thing I think actually helped me to become successful despite my terrible health challenges was I don't pity myself. Let me tell you this just like a friend. You need a healthy self-esteem to achieve any reasonable success in life. And you are not going to be healthy. I'm talking about your self-esteem now. Your self-esteem is not going to be very healthy if you wake up every morning to pity yourself. Because think about it. Strong people don't spend time pitying themselves and thinking, why is my life this way? Why are my parents this way? Why is government this way? Why is my employer not paying me? Why? Truly strong people don't do that. So when you wake up in the morning to do that, what you are telling yourself is, I cannot. Other people are my problem. The government of my country is my problem. My problem is I'm a single mother. My problem is nobody is giving me capital. My problem is I was born with sickle cell disease. My problem is. And as long as people believe that they do not have the capacity to solve their problem, they will not solve it. So what I do with my life is, I do not sit down to pity myself. Those things I lack, yeah, good. I focus on what can I do? What can I do with my life? What do I have the power to do? The government of my country is one of the most corrupt in the world. You know what? I don't even listen to news. So I'm laughing because one of my friends who live like how many countries away, the other day was telling me what was happening, the next state to me in my country. I did not know such a thing was happening because I rarely listen to the news. I do listen to the news, but I do not consume news like an average man. So probably 90% of things that are happening in my country, I do not even know they happen in the first place. Why? They are not good news. They are news of somebody embezzling money, somebody stole away all the money that belongs to like 1 million people and stuff like that. So if I sit down to consume such news, something in me will be telling me, oh, you are not fortunate to be in this country. But because I don't even know those things are happening, I feed myself the positive news that can help me to wake up in the morning and think, what can I do? What can I do with my life? So Maybe it is similar to what I discussed with you previously about focus, but again, it's about don't pity yourself. Problem comes when you sit down to pity yourself. Look at that from the point of mathematics. You are the only person that will solve your problem. Here you are down, pitying yourself, crying. Who is going to solve your problem? Nobody. So I decided not to pity myself. Whatever situation I find myself, I figure out, how can I get out of here? How can I make it better? How can I improve it? More so because some of your situations are permanent, even though you don't like them. Look at my own case. I was born with sickle cell disease. I would die with it. Yes, I give glory to Jesus because as I'm growing old, my health starts to be improving. And when I become an adult, I have far better health. Today, I am healthy. Yes, maybe not like you or like everybody else, but I'm very healthy. But that does not remove the fact that I am living with sickle cell disease. So, like, how many hours do you really think I can sit down to cry so that disease go away? Some of your problems, maybe they are permanent. Oh, the government of your country are corrupt. How many hours do you think you can cry to change that? How many years do you think you can waste of your personal life to change that? Maybe you have nothing to do about it. Maybe you can do nothing about it. So if I cannot change it, why do I pity myself about it? Why do I cry about it? Now, this channel is all about my philosophy. I'm not here to tell you things I believe you should agree with. I'm only telling you things based on the way I think about them. So if you do not agree with them, I'm sorry. But it doesn't make sense to me that, for example, because I was born by poor parents, I should fold my arm and be crying. My parents are poor. Nobody is helping me. My uncle cannot. How is that going to help my life? So, as a matter of principle, I do not pity myself. And that is why I have one of the healthiest self-esteem in the world. I believe so much in myself. I love myself so much. I look at myself as a powerful human. I see myself as somebody who is able to do anything. Anything he set his eyes on. And the reason is because I do not pity myself. So let me advise you, regardless of your situation, maybe you shouldn't pity yourself. Maybe you should stop crying for yourself. Because you are the only person that will ever solve your problem. If you waste your time crying because of that problem, nobody is going to solve that problem. But my situation is terrible and nobody is going to help me. Yeah, I understand that perfectly. Thomas, your situation is very terrible. Now, looking at you, I know that. Nobody helps people who cry all the time. So you want somebody to help you? Maybe you should get out of this room and try and help yourself first. So here are the summary of everything I've been discussing with you so far. 1, focus. I learned the power of focus because of my disability, because of my health as somebody born with sickle cell disease. But that doesn't mean you have to be born with sickle cell disease to understand that you can't achieve much with your life if you are doing 3, 4, 7, 25 things at a time, even if you are the strongest man in the world. You will achieve greater results with your life if you focus your life on few things. So you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I'm going to do 2 things today. And make sure you do those 2 things wonderfully well. You start the year by telling yourself, I am going to start a business and I'm going to pursue this business regardless of what other people are telling me about other good businesses. I want to invest my entire year on this. That is how people achieve meaningful success. The second thing that helped me is I read a lot. I read a lot. Kind of like I would prefer that you throw me to a prison that is filled with books than you keep me in a room and you tell me that I will spend 1 month in that room without books or any way I can learn. So Now, this is helpful because if you read a lot, you are going to expand the way you think about the world, about what is possible for your life, about what you are capable of achieving. That is going to boost your self-esteem, and you are going to have, confidence to go ahead and just run after your dream because you have seen that other people did it. So if other people do it, maybe I can do it too. The third thing that helped me to become successful despite my health challenge is I don't pity myself. I close my eyes to what I don't have control over and try to focus on what I can change. I don't have control over a health condition that I was born with. I will have to die to change anything about that. So waking up in the morning and behaving like Thomas, to cry, to complain, make excuse, I just don't know how that is going to help me. So I push that aside and focus on what I think is, within my power. So if you like this video, maybe you would like other videos I have made. So see them and watch them. Thank you very much.